What's up, YouTube? This is high quality. Check this out. And scene. Alright, so I'm just gonna go through a quick rundown of the cleanup. So we had to take off the spring perches because they're obviously not necessary, and then all these were rivets that we just cut out and pounded back through for what was all of it? It was exhaust hangers and leaf spring shit, the shackles. Jake thinks that we're making a porn.
Yeah, that's what the chicken's like.
Yeah. So yeah, we have it kind of laid out right now. What we're gonna do now is clean up the diff and then get it all mocked up. We'll get it mocked up on this so that we can figure out exactly where the frame mounts are gonna go. Somewhere over here.
Mostly we're just gonna guess though.
Yeah.
We're gonna eyeball it, we're gonna weld it, and then hope we did drink enough beer at that point that it doesn't fall apart on the highway.
Yeah, because
that's really the point.
Alright, so we got this just mocked up for now, so we can figure out how it's gonna orientate. But we just based it off of what the pictures are online currently, of just having on this one it's the bottom hole for that adjustment, and then top and bottom for this side, as well as over there. But yeah, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna mock it up on the frame.
Yeah, we gotta find our center line on the frame, which should be somewhere around these two holes.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out the. We'll have to throw the axle on jack stands to get it closer to ride height to get it all lined up.
And then what, are we gonna drop the truck down?
We gotta drill holes for the front mounts and then get it all hooked up.
Sounds good. Alright, so we've been working really slow, but we've been doing lots of planning so that we don't mess this up. So the first thing that we're going to end up mounting is going to be the bracket for the top of the coilover. In order to make sure that the top of that bracket isn't going to be hitting the bed, we're going to figure out where it goes on the frame, and then we're going to drill those holes and mount that bracket in, and then the rest of this stuff is going to end up being based on that location because... Huh?
You're not even pointing the camera at the spot you're talking.
Yes, I am. I'm pointing at it. Oh. Yeah. Get out of me. But yeah, so we're gonna... You just threw off my whole track. So we're gonna base the rest of the suspension off of that piece while the coilover is mounted up, and then we're going to measure them. We're doing them, oop, I'm not even showing it. Yeah, we're gonna get them both mid-range so that we have room to grow.
We want to keep all of our settings neutral, that way
we have room in either direction.
This truck that's probably been crashed at one point in its life.
Yeah. And then also we're setting this up on the lowest setting as well so that we can figure out if we even need to C-notch it. Because currently we're in like the most drastic potential probably, to where I don't even think that the bars are parallel anymore. They might be up a little bit. So yeah, Jake's just getting this plumbed up so that we know what.
That should locate the... You got a shock mount over here? Oh, it's on there already.
Yeah, it's on it.
So yeah, like you said, it's up too high. So I'm just squaring up, so we're gonna use this as a reference. I want to stay inside that cross member because we're gonna through bolt this. And then we need to drop this axle down because we need this to be below the frame as much as possible because we don't want to interfere with the bed. But yeah, this is the highest point of the frame for the bed mounting.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty much all we gotta do. We're gonna get this down, we're gonna take this off, and then we'll locate these holes, and this will be our first mounted piece of the truck. And then it should go pretty quick after that because it'll be more rigid as we go through.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it here so you guys will see them bolted back up again, but hopefully I'll time lapse, if I remember, I'll time lapse the process of getting the rest of it put together. All right, so we got the coilover stuff mounted. It's kind of getting dark. But now what we're doing, Jake is just getting this one kind of mocked up. So we just used an existing hole there, but you can generally just cut it. We kind of just lined it up with this because it made sense just because of our application. We're gonna move the exhaust hanger, but he wants to drill another hole here, so we have 2 points there, and this will be another structure piece. Do the same thing on the other side, and then we can start aligning everything and getting ready to start the finalization of everything. Cool. So since last night, we went to bed. Jake finished drilling out all the... Oh, that's nice. Jake finished drilling the holes for that bracket, and then we just made everything kind of somewhat tight. We made paint marks to make sure that the bracket that we weld to the axle tube is in the right spot. We figured out center line for the diff, and now we're just figuring out ride height so that we can get everything decently finalized-ish. But damn, this thing is sitting low and I love it. It's sitting lower in the back right now, I think. Alright, so we made sure that the diff is at center line with the truck. We were figuring out pinion angle as best as we could. We've got the rear brackets to be even with the front ones so that we can have straight bars. Jake's now going to tack the rear bracket so that that doesn't move anymore, and then we're going to tear it all apart. Probably we're going to raise the coilover mount up one hole just to give it a little bit more, because would you say the truck's sitting right now at about 0 degrees?
Right now the truck's perfectly level with no load on it.
Yeah, so we want to raise it up one just to see where it is, and then put her all back together, see how it sits again. And our pinion angle at that point should be almost perfect because we're only lifting it up, I don't know, like an inch. So yeah, he's gonna start tacking now. Boom.
Alright, so now that is fixed to the bars.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go crazy with it, but could break if we beat the shit out of it.
Alright, so we got the axle bracket tacked on for the Panhard bar now. Holy cow, I can't record. And we're trying to figure out the length the bar needs to be so that we can bolt it in and make it so that the frame just won't move on the axle anymore, so we can do final shit. What else were we gonna do? There's something else I was literally just
we're gonna take it apart and weld everything for good.
Yeah. So we're not gonna end up doing any C-notching because we raised it a little bit, and with how big our bump stops are, Jake and I were both bouncing on it and it was kind of just barely slapping. So we're gonna cut the mounts in half, and then we drive it down the road. We'll see if it hits still, and hopefully we don't have to C-notch it. Just because this is gonna be up a little bit. So in your application, you may still have to C-notch it, but we're just avoiding doing extra work that we don't have to. All right, so we got the axle bracket tacked on. We wound up having to do a little bit of jimmying and playing to get the frame side bracket for the Panhard bar on, but she's in there. Now what we're gonna do is, oh yeah, look at how stable that is. We want to take it all apart, do the finish welding, and then put it back together, make sure everything still lines up, and then we can paint it and fill that clean the diff and fill it, and then clean it again, paint it, wait for it to dry, and then we'll take it for a drive and see what happens. Sound good? Cool. Alright, so we just tore it all down again. So we have the frame hanging in the air again. Pulled the diff out because we don't know what we're doing. Just kidding. We're getting ready to weld the...
Mike was getting ready to get me another beer.
Yeah, I was about to go get another beer for me and none for Jake. Jake's about to weld the 4-link brackets on the axle and the Panhard bar on as well after cleaning up a little bit, and then that's super safe. Yeah, and then we're gonna paint and hope that with what is this, 97% humidity, the paint will dry before next year. So yeah, and then once it's all painted, final assembly comes and we start driving and doing dumb shit.
Let me see what else breaks.
Alright, we're just doing the installation now just to kind of get it together and rock it. Last night, fighting the rain, we got the bars in and put the axle in. It's kind of ready for final assembly.
It really sucks having her make food all the time.
Yeah, it must suck. Good thing I was rolling when you said that. I'm gonna tell her that you said that. Tell her you hate her cooking. So I've been doing pretty bad at doing getting ready for time lapses and shit, but this video is probably gonna be longish, long. So we are currently what?
The hose is underneath the exhaust and the draw shaft.
Nice. So we're trying to get this squared up, ready to go to just do a little test ride and see what breaks with the suspension before we put a bed on. Obviously it still needs a little bit of paint too, but yeah, we're moving slowly. Took me 3 hours to build up the courage to go buy a wrench so that I could finish tightening up the hardware. So naturally I'm just gonna go and return that back to AutoZone. AutoZone sponsor us, so I don't have to keep wasting my money on your stupid piece of shit tools. But yeah, hopefully in the next clip will be me driving this thing instead of something else being broken.
That much.
Alright, so I'm gonna try something potentially stupid. I'm gonna try to put the bed on by myself. Kind of surprise Jake when he gets here. Maybe the truck will be ready to go. I've got a couple things I need to go get anyway, so I might as well try to get the truck back on the road while he's gone. So here's hoping. tucks these tires. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. So I've been home a couple days now. I figured I'll just use this clip for to talk about in each video that I make the stuff that was done, just kind of like a follow-up getting home. Yeah. I'm sure you can't really see very well, but that's kind of the point that we wanted. Yeah, the 4-link kit and coilovers and everything that I got from Outcast, phenomenal. I couldn't be happier with how it wound up. And a 500 some odd mile trip home, I guess, is a pretty good way to test something out. She didn't drop or anything. It just literally felt like it was just gliding along the road. It wasn't like crazy hard with all the bumps. It wound up being semi-comfortable, you know, other than the fact that I still have shitty front suspension and a garbage seat. But if you're looking for a 4-link kit for anything, because this kit will work for anything, it's pretty universal, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, it's comfortable, it's the beefiest one I could find, and it was reasonably priced for what it is. So definitely go get you one of those.